All right, guys, I got some Mercer with me today. This is one of my childhood friends. His name is Mike Taylor. Very influential guy in my life, man. This guy, I have learned a lot from this guy. I've also beat this guy's ass in pretty much every video game we've ever fucking played. And he used to be big dog until Mercer showed up, you know.
Oh man.
And we're gonna talk about that Marvel's Capcom 3 because that was quite a beatdown. I will say this guy said he was the best at Marvel's Capcom. I said I was good. I went over there. This man beat me 1,000 times in this.
There we go. I was gonna say let's talk about the journey to becoming the best.
Okay. He beat me 1,000 times, but like I tell everybody, you never want to play Mercer 1,000 times because at the end of it, I can predict your moves better than you can.
And that's
You
nice.
never win
As you
again.
as you should dethrone somebody after fighting them 1,000
No, no,
times.
no, 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 because you
Yeah,
should never
yeah, yeah,
lose.
yeah, yeah.
No, no, no. And then from there, I pretty much broke his soul and made him quit the game. And that's a fact. That is a fact. I broke his soul in Marvel's Capcom. I broke his soul in Mortal Kombat. I broke his
Oh
soul
my
in
God.
2K. Great times, man.
We're not gonna talk about Mortal Kombat because I used to just destroy you in Mortal Kombat with Jason.
Yeah, and then I figured out what to do with Scorpion, and you never won again. It's like the same recipe. You start out hot, and then I take over. Henry, you ready?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Give me a couple minutes to turn back on that.
All right. So,
Jesus.
Mike, what do you think are your best attributes, man?
My best attributes. Um, I would have to say my loyalty. My loyalty and just the ability I have to just love for other people and want to see them do better.
Where do you think you get that from?
Um, I don't know actually. It's just been instilled in me. Like that's just who I am at the core of me.
What's a couple things you struggle with?
Struggle with not feeling like enough or like I don't deserve to be happy.
That's interesting. Why would you say that?
Um, I just feel like I don't know. I don't really know where it stems from. Maybe like a survivor's guilt or remorse type thing. It's like I don't ever feel like I deserve to be happy for the fact that I feel like everyone else that I know and love is always doing like not as good as me. So I or something. I don't know. It's just I'd be tied to like a certain life. When I was born, now we were like drastically poor. You know what I mean? So I feel like I kind of accustomed my mindset around that because I grew up like that. That I was, you know, I was always like more just accustomed to having less.
Mhm.
So it's like when you grow up like that, you get used to it. It's like okay, you start to learn to appreciate the small things in life, but that causes a mindset of small things. Like the bare and the like essentials become like the goal in life to just be comfortable. You know what I mean? Not excel. Like I find myself looking at a lot of people and I'll be like, I bump into some people and their mindset be completely different from mine. Like my goal was to get a Benz. Like that would be like me winning and succeeding. And then I go around somebody else and they're just like, oh yeah, that's a beater. Like, and they cash out on like a $45,000 car and call it a beater. It's like, it's two different mindsets. It's like we come from two different worlds. So I don't know. I always feel like, um, yeah, like I have a poor mentality mindset. I don't know. It's weird. So, um, yeah, I just struggle feeling like I'm worthy of living that lifestyle, even though I know that I would like in deep inside of me, I know I have a greatness and that I could absolutely obtain anything I want. But I just feel that I don't know. I start to feel guilty when I start succeeding at a lot of things in life, just
Do
because people always make me feel like I'm like they just be like, "Oh, you're so lucky and you're so blessed and you're so talented and you do this and you do that," but they don't see like the late like nights I've stay up struggling to learn and studying and not going out and partying, not going out and indulging in things that other people indulge in, and just not giving in to the temptations of life, like being disciplined.
Any
do you plan on getting out of this mindset? And if so, what's your strategy for doing that?
Um, I do plan on getting out of the mindset. I have been working on it very hard the past 3 to 4 years of my life, and my strategy has been um, learning how to separate my love for people and my love for myself. So, with that being said, I've learned that I need to make sure that I love myself and treat myself like I'm worthy, and um, instead of like always dictating my life on the success of others. So yeah, my strategy is to basically just keep, reminding myself that to love myself and take care of myself first, and then I can help where I can help at
um, do you seem to put other people over you?
all the time,
Yeah.
all the time. A lot of my setbacks in life has been because of the company I keep, which brings me back to that loyalty at a fault. Like remaining loyal to people, even though I see the blatant like mistakes that they continually make, just because I really don't know why they make the mistakes, but like or the decisions they make, but I would choose to keep them around just because of like the love that I have for them and the loyalty in me that's instilled in me. I would keep them around, and it would set me back drastically in a lot of my situations in life.
Okay. What do you want to be remembered for, man?
That's a mouthful. Basically my actions, like who I was, like, just my kind heart. Like really, that's it. Really, I want people to remember me for, as a person that, always stayed true to what he believed in and who he was and lived his life as full as he could. Like, that's it, really, just living my life to the fullest, not leaving nothing on, no stone unturned, not leaving nothing on the table, like just living.
Mhm.
How do you feel about change?
Change. So I have a funny relationship with change. I like change when it's forced upon me. Like it's weird. Like I'll see myself being content and getting comfortable. So I lean more towards comfortability and just like being content and things being the same. But over time, I've learned that change is the only way that I would get a lot of things done. Is if like something was forced in my life that would like cause me to be uncomfortable, and then change would come, and I'd be like, now I look at change as a good thing instead of a bad thing. Like if something happens in my life that's drastic, I'll be like, okay, like, you know, this is gonna be for the better. Like I recently got fired from the last tattoo shop I worked at. Um, don't really know why the guy fired me. I feel like it was a deeper reason, but he just said it was because of some line work that I did on this girl's foot on a Friday the 13th tattoo that was like a cheap tattoo. And I didn't like the fact that I was being fired. I just didn't like it didn't sit right with me because I take a lot of like pride in what I do and a lot of passion in what I do, especially in my work. So for you to be telling me you're firing me because of my work, I took it very personal. But then I was like, I didn't belong at that shop anyway. I wasn't even supposed to go to work at that shop. Like I knew better. I knew that shop was already beneath me before I took the position, but I took it anyway because somebody that I knew worked there, and I was working at a nicer shop with this artist recently, and then that shop got shut down, so I kind of just followed him to this shop. But since they fired me, like I haven't done anything but elevate. I opened the LLC'd my own name, my own business, you know, and I just elevated. I actually work in like a very nice private studio now with a bunch of high-end artists, and it was like I said, it was a good thing, but at the time it didn't feel like it. It was the day after Christmas. I had spent a lot of money on Christmas and New Year's and all this stuff, and then they fired me right afterwards, and it was like, it felt like a horrible thing, but like I needed that change. So I embraced change. Like I said, I have a weird relationship with change, but overall, if you ask me how do I feel about change, I would have to say I love change now.
Oh, Kenny, go. What you want to
I have a lot of questions. Can I ask? Can I? Okay,
go
I'll ask
for it,
it.
bro? You're part
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
group.
yeah. Well, what you described is kind of the paradox of choice, which is that when you're given more options, you're actually less satisfied with the one that you pick. You seem to be aware of this phenomena. So would you say you kind of are contented with, weirdly enough, taking orders from life, kind of like just life gives you whatever and you just go along with it? Because for me, I am not like that at all. I can tell you that.
So I feel like I do my absolute best to not take orders from life, but as you are aware that like sometimes you're dealt to cards that you just have no control over. I absolutely have no control over them. Yes, you can say I have control over them if I knew all the decisions are the right decisions to make from the beginning, but I didn't. And no one has all the answers from the beginning. So in turn, you'll make decisions thinking you're in control, and those decisions will lead to other decisions that lead to other decisions that will ultimately lead to something that you had no control over from the beginning, and you were unaware of that control. And then life will just take control, and you will have to adapt to what like path that life has thrown at you. So I do go through life with the control mindset of knowing how to manifest and control certain things and aspects in my life. But at the end of the day, something is going to encounter me at some point where I have no control over it, and I have to roll with the punches. I have to learn to adapt in order to move forward or progress or learn in any kind of a beneficial way from that incident.
Who are some people you look up to? Role models, celebrities, etc.
Um, I have none. I don't really idolize or look up or um have a role model. Never had a role model. Father's never been in my life ever. He actually has, multiple times, like basically not claimed me, told me that, told my mother that I wasn't his and all that. So I never had a father figure. I've always had to figure things out on my own. So I never ever was like a following person. Like I never like idolized anyone, and I didn't even never take the time to worry about someone else's life or what they're doing to even be like, oh yeah, I'm inspired by this person or this person is my role model. Like it's never been me.
So if I had to ask you to imagine your best self, what does he look like?
My best self
Mhm.
would be you're looking at him like I don't never think that I would ever be like perfected. Like I said, I would, if you was ever to ask me my best self, it's like I could only tell you that my best self would be who I am today because I'm always striving to be the best at at everything I do. So and I'm only getting better. And I see that every day, my progress. I see my progress every day. Um, I only get better. So as time goes on, so you would have to be looking at them right now. Like,
Kenny.
Wait. Do you agree with my message first? Like, just so we're on the same.
No, but I do agree with the progression TIFE.
Okay. You just blatantly said it.
You know, stop trying to jump to the end. Just follow,
No, no, I know, but so we have an anchor, so we can kind of just zero in, you know. But all right, now I have to start asking some nebulous questions then. Hmm. What, when you wake up every day, what do you look forward to and why?
um, I would have to say right now, a lot of my focus has been towards, um, spending time with my son, trying to teach him as much as I can and prepare him for a lot of things. So right now, that's a lot of my focus. But um, personally, if you're asking for me, like my sake, like not wasting time. Just, I value time above all. It's like you can't get it back. So I value it over everything. Relationship, money, um, anything, like all that stuff. Like I value the time over all of it. So that kind of dictates, what I do with my day is like the value of time. So, I look forward to just not wasting the life that I live that I've been given, you know. That's the only thing I look forward to. I don't want to waste my life.
Okay, okay, sounds good. Um, if you could change one thing about the world, what would you change and why?
Mm. It would have to be I would have to say the way that everybody is like I don't like how people are so selfish. I don't like how people want like separation. Everyone is separated from everyone. Like they everybody just wants to be separated from everyone, and I don't think that that's true. I think we all live in the same world. We all breathe the same air. We should all be working towards similar goals to better the world and not, be as segregated. That just makes everything 10 times harder. Like as a whole human race, I feel like we have like hindered our growth as a human race drastically by just segregating each other and separating each other and focusing on one little family. Everyone focuses on one little family and their own individual lives. And if we worked together to accomplish like, taking over certain like uh I just taking over the world, basically like understanding the world and running the world the way we need to run it. Like I feel like we could absolutely be a force to be reckoned with. Like the human race is incredible. Like I haven't, I don't see any other species. I haven't seen any other species, that like have the ability to obtain information like the human race does. Like we should absolutely be working together on everything.
Okay, okay. What do you do? Like, what is an activity you do when you feel like brings out the best in you, like your best potential? Like, and how does that feel? Or like, what's an activity you do? Like, and why you think you do that activity?
I would have to say tattooing right now. Tattooing is I don't know what it is about it. It just brings me at a like a certain state of bliss where I can, just be mentally clear. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like I was born to do the shit. Like it's something about it. It doesn't necessarily have to be tied to tattooing in itself, but like the actual act of creating something and doing it to the best of my ability and trying to make it absolutely perfect. I would have to say that that's just, like the best activity I've ever experienced is just the act of creating. I feel like everybody in some sort of way should be absolutely pushing to try to create every day, like something. I don't know what it would be, but if you are pushing yourself creativity, like creatively to be better at something or perfect something every day, I feel like that's gonna give you the best like lessons in life. Like if you push and you strive yourself to create something every day, you'll learn a lot from it.
Okay.
What do you think are the biggest problems with the world right now?
Like I said, segregation, man. The
What?
selfless, the selfishness of people is insane. Like just the pure selfishness.
Okay, what do you think is contributing to that? And what's your solution if you
Um, what's contributing to that is I mean, let's if you want like let's just be real. Money and religion is two huge things that control the world drastically in every kind of way. I don't know how to explain it, but people think that, they take it lightly, but nine times out of ten, you look at somebody, they're being controlled in some way or shape or form by those two things, money or religion, or both.
Um, if you were to give your young self a piece of advice, what would it be?
Um, this is a good question. I would have to say I would tell myself to love myself above all. Like I said, bro, like that. It took me years and years and years to learn to try to heal a lot of shit that I've been through to like say, to tell myself to love myself. I would tell myself 100% make sure you love yourself every day.
Mhm. Now, what's the
Because that
best?
way, with that, it, like comes like a lot of, it helps a lot, bro. Just learning to love yourself and tell yourself that you're worth it and that you can do it. And, even like you're gonna have rough times, you're gonna meet a lot of people in your life that's gonna, you're gonna think that, they love you the same way you love them, and don't waste your time.
Mhm. Mhm. Um, where you see yourself in the next 10 years?
Next 2 years,
10.
10 years,
Mm-hmm.
10 years, shit, I'll be 46. I see myself as one of the top tattoo artists in the world. Um, and I see myself, venturing into like passive income, more passive income, so I don't have to be so physically demanding on my body on with tattooing. But yeah, I see myself in 10 years owning a house, raising my son, having him live with me, um, being in the best physically fit shape possible. Um, yeah, just crushing it at life. I feel like I'll only be getting younger, honestly. That's how I've been feeling the past 4 years. I feel like I've been getting younger.
Why do you think you've been getting younger?
Uh, just I want to say I had to put it towards dieting, like the way the like not even dieting because that's such a bad word, but like watching what you put in your body and physical activity with those two things, and like I said, loving myself and taking the time to go out in the world, go on walks and go and get in nature and just healing myself from the inside out and loving myself. I feel like I've been getting younger, bro. Like everyone I bump into now, even nowadays, like I bump into someone, they're like, yo, you look like you're 25. I'm 36 years old. You know what I'm saying? I feel better than I did when I was 30, 33 years old. You remember those days. So I feel like I'm been getting younger, man. Like
Okay. What do you want for yourself, man?
uh um like I said, I just I want to be able to just live life to the fullest, bro. I just don't want to be regretting things. Like that's the biggest thing, bro. Like for me, it's not regretting things.
What do you think regret comes for you?
Like I said, if I only thing I really feel like I'll regret is if I feel like I didn't take full advantage of life itself, the time that I have been given or blessed with. Like that's my biggest regrets. Like if the amount of time I wasted on people, bro. Last relationship, 10 years, nothing from it but a headache. Like you know what I'm saying? That's where like I understand that for me, my biggest regrets come from is wasting time, bro.
Wasting time.
Wasting time. You waste so much time on so many things in life. You really don't even realize it. You'll it's so easy. Even for me, it's so easy to fall into a mode where you're being distracted and you have no idea that you're being distracted, and you won't know that you're wasting time unless you're telling yourself constantly every day, like, am I wasting time here? Like, am I wasting my time on this? Am I wasting my time? Like, you constantly have to remind yourself because it's so easy now in the world we live in. Social media, this, every woman is hot. Like, every woman is this, like in your face out 24/7. You got money, cars, this, that, success. Everybody's all in your face with all their success all the time. And you'll just find yourself wasting time, bro. Like I'm telling you, even back when I was coming up, like when I was growing up, man, um, if someone drank more than like two, three drinks a week, you would call them an alcoholic. Like real shit. Like now, everywhere I turn, people have to drink alcohol. Let's go out for cocktails. That's a thing. Like I want to go get cocktails. I want to go get a drink. Like that's a thing. Like bro, like people literally waste time doing this shit. Like it's so much shit that you waste time on, and it's crazy.
So when you tattoo people, what's your general process?
Um,
What's your methodology? How do you think about it? All that kind of stuff.
it's uh, it's all basically like I have it down to like a absolute routine now. Preparation is the biggest part of it. So most of the time they'll come to me. They got their design or their idea, whatever they want. I sit down on the iPad, get on the iPad, design the tattoo, stencil it and everything all on the iPad. Once I get all that done, then whatever date that we chose, we go in for their appointment, and then I'll talk with them. We go back and forth on how they like the design, stuff like that. I stencil it on placement wise, see how everything fits, if it fits their body the way it needs to. Do they like it? Everything like that, and then yeah, then I create magic.
Then you create magic. You guys go then I create magic.
It's that simple, bro. Like real shit. Like I'm telling you, just if you was to watch me tattoo one day, you'd be like, yeah, that shit is magic. Like there's no way to explain it.
Okay, okay, okay. What would you do if money was no longer an issue?
Ah, honestly, bro, I'd probably be living like a Mayan or something, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'll probably be studying the stars, fucking, you know what I'm saying, doing crazy shit like that. Like just trying to figure out more about like the world we live on. You know what I mean? Like I like money just can like it just controls so much. It dictates so much. Like if I had all the time in the world, it would definitely be like more focused on the world I live in. Like why like what are we doing here? What is like, you know what I'm saying? I would like to study a lot more about the planet and space and everything else. Like what is really going on? Like that's what I would be focused on if I had all the time in the world. Yeah. Um, Unfortunately, money dictates a lot of that shit. So, we have to, live in a house and, take care of certain shit and family and this and that and all that. But if money was not a issue, I would definitely be traveling. I would be traveling a lot, bro. I would want to see as much as I could possibly see in a lifetime.
And so I want to ask this question, and you ask me, you let me know if it's true or false. Do you keep talking about wasting time? Is are you saying you wasted time? Is it because you're struggling? Is it what are you struggling to do when you're talking about waste time? Is it because you are struggling to be in the moment or anything like that? Like what's going on? Like what do you think is the main culprit of
No, so I absolutely live my life in the moment. I would tell you that wholeheartedly, I live my life in the moment. Um, and sometimes it's not a good thing. Like I said, me living my life in the moment kind of, is it hinders me to being at this, reason why I'm not at the success point in life right now where I want to be. But there's a lot that comes with that too. But um, no, it's not that living in the moment. It's just like I said, bro. Like it's more so like the company you keep, bro. It's so important. It's so important. Like realizing that everybody is just not always gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? Like the people are afraid to be alone. They're really afraid to be alone, being alone. Like a lot of people, I mean, even me, bro. I'm telling you, I realize as humans, I feel like we're almost wired to want to not be alone.
Mhm.
You see the marriages or constant relationships and da 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 da, and people go back to like toxic environments and shit just because they don't want to be alone. You know what I mean? So, um, I say that to say like I feel like people waste a lot of time because they're afraid to be alone, man. Like that's what I mean. Don't waste your time on uh by putting other things on a pedestal, man. People put a lot of things on pedestals, and that's what I mean. Like you waste a lot of time doing that shit when really your happiness is based off of you. You know what I'm saying? It's not a material thing. It's not a fucking environment. It's not this and that. Like you can absolutely be happy in like in life on the inside with whatever type of car you have, whatever kind of clothes you have, whatever kind of house you have, bro. You can be happy. Like people base their happiness off a lot of material shit and relationships and all this and that. And that's what I mean. Like people waste a lot of time on, bro. I've wasted a lot of time on that type of shit. Like that's what I mean by that. Yes, I've lived my life. Uh, if you ask a lot of people who know me, they'll feel like they'll say, "Oh, well, I feel like this guy's lived like 17, 20 different lifestyles. He's been, a tattoo artist, a graffiti artist. He grows. He was a grower. He does this, he does that. Like, yeah, like I've done a lot of things, but I still feel like I could have always done more, bro. I can do more. Like I spent a lot of time on bullshit, bro. You know, and that's just the the blatant truth. Now you can be happy still, you can still be happy and be like, yeah, you can look at it like you didn't waste time, but at the end of the day,
Okay.
shit, you can't get that time back.
Do you struggle planning the future?
Um, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Can you walk us through like what goes on when you think about planning the future?
That's the problem. I don't.
Hmm?
I don't a lot of times. I don't plan the future a lot of times. I didn't think I was gonna live to see 25. I didn't think I was gonna live to see 30. You know what I'm saying? So I never really planned for the future. I always thought I was gonna die young. Um, I still sometimes today be like, I just don't see myself growing old and being old. Like, and like I said, I've been in a lot of situations where I've accepted death in a lot of times, and with that being said, I've learned to live, like I said, in the moment. Like I told you, I wholeheartedly live life in the moment, and that is has its pros and it also has its cons. So yeah, you have it's a good thing, but it's also a downfall when it comes to planning futures.
Hmm. So
So yeah,
you think being in the moment kind of stops you from getting the future you want?
100%, 100%. And I don't know how to turn the shit off. I swear I don't. I swear I don't, bro. I try so hard sometimes, bro, and that's why I say I need to I like having things in structures. Like even like tattooing helps me because it's something that I can't just walk away from. It's hard. Like I can't just be like a lot of things in my life. I could just be like, all right, yeah, fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm done with it.
Hmm.
I'm gonna heal. I can know how to be happy. I could just turn that shit off. You know what I'm saying? And be like, fuck it. But um, tattooing, it doesn't allow me to do that, and that's what I love about it. You know what I mean? It keeps me grounded. It keeps me there. It keeps me going because clients constantly are like, "Yo, I'm trying to get tatted. Yo, let me finish this tattoo. Yo, we got to do this." And then I'm like constantly, like, I always have this like passion thing where I'm just like, I want to get better at the shit. Like, I want to be better. I want to be perfect. I want to be one of the best in the fucking world. Like, I always had that mindset on everything I did. But it's really wild how it ties together with tattooing because it's one of those things that just doesn't have a ceiling. So I'm always constantly trying to perfect it, and no matter how better or how much I progress or how better I get at it, it's just like I can always do more. So it kind of keeps me with the helps me with the whole planning of the future thing. Like if I didn't have tattooing and you would have asked me that question where I see myself in 10 years, I wouldn't even have an answer for you because I wouldn't know. Like I wouldn't like this is allowing me to build a career out of something that I absolutely love. Like so I struggle with a lot of other like things. I can't work a regular job, bro. I can't work a regular job. I can't like settle for shit that I don't like, bro. I can't do it. Like it doesn't matter. People could be like, "Yo, I'll pay you $30 an hour to come work over here," and I'll be like, "Fuck it, I'm not doing that shit." Like, if I can't see myself being happy doing it, I just can't do it. Like I said, I value time too much.
Okay. So what do you think are like honest to God, like 3 words you would use to describe yourself?
3 words:
3 words.
loyal, ambitious, and conscious.
What do you mean? Can you explain those? Loyal, ambitious. What? Just go to ambitious and conscious.
So ambitious, I'm ambitious because, um, like I said, I'm always striving to perfect everything that I do. I always had more ambition than a lot of people that I meet. Like a lot of people have no fucking ambition at all whatsoever. They want to just fuck hoes, sit around, sit on the couch, eat a bunch of fucking food, get fat. They don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? They don't want to be nothing. You know what I'm saying? They don't have any ambition. Um, Loyal. I'm absolutely loyal to everyone that I love. Everything that I love. I always try to stick the shit out to the like till it's absolutely not an option anymore. Like like I said, man, I would still be friends with a lot of people if not certain things happen and they didn't tear their own ass. Like I'd be still dealing with certain relationships if things didn't work out the way they did work out. Like, and it wouldn't have been on my part. I always give everyone the benefit of the doubt, and I absolutely will put a lot of my happiness, like, or their happiness above mine, and I would just deal with bullshit after bullshit after bullshit. I just give people way too many chances in life, way too many. Um, and I kind of feel like a bitch about that shit sometimes, like real shit. Like I be really getting pissed off about it sometimes, and that ends up me like lashing out and being like, you know what I'm saying? Because I know that I ain't one, and I know that I can, handle myself in any situation, but I let a lot of people take advantage of me. And then sometimes I lash out, and and that's how we get where we get, and whatever, whatever. But and conscious, I mean that by fully being aware of what's going on in my life. Like I don't ever make a decision that I don't know the consequences to. Like I literally will know what I'm getting into, and if the shit is worth it to me, like in my beliefs, then I'll make the decision on that. Like, you know what I mean? Whether or not it's if I end up in jail or if I end up dead or if I end up being successful, like or if I tear some, or if I have to burn a bridge or whatever, like I know the consequences of what I do. I'm fully conscious in what I'm doing, and even like I said, with the whole wasting the time or knowing what knowing what's hindering me. Like I'm fully conscious about like a lot of things, bro. A lot of things. My mind, I know I've learned over time, my mind does not work like a lot of people. A lot of people aren't conscious. They don't they walk through life not absolutely not aware of shit. You know what I mean? They just walk through life and they just do what they're told. You know what I mean? You can go right now, you can go to a fucking Starbucks or a McDonald's and you can see someone that's been there for 15 years, 20 years. You know what I mean? They're fucking zombies. Like
Yeah.
they're not aware. They're not conscious. They're not woke. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I mean by conscious. Like, I'm a conscious person. I'm fully aware and I'm fully awoke and I understand, you know what I'm saying, what's going on around me. And um, I can make those decisions on like, hey, th are you gonna fucking waste it today or are you gonna go out and you're gonna take full advantage of the shit? Like, shit
Okay.
like that.
What do you think separates you from other people?
Uh, what separates me? That's a question I wouldn't I don't above the I mean besides the shit that I just described, like I couldn't really, I don't know, mindset, honestly. Would just have to be mindset. Like we like I said, bro, it's hard to find people who have the same mindset as me.
Okay.
This is what it is.
Um, what type of mm, do you have any other hobbies besides tattooing, anything like that? What else are you doing?
Um, and I work out, go to the gym. That's about it. I don't know. Like I don't really have hobbies. Like I don't really. Every now and then I might get on the game with my son, but other than that, I really don't like have a hobby. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, and none of that shit a hobby really. To me, like working is working, and like working out is working out to me. Like I don't really consider them hobbies. Like it's a lifestyle to me. So as far as hobbies, I'd have to say my biggest hobby would probably be spending time with my son and fucking my lady and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's it, bro. Like I don't really. To me, those are lifestyles. That's who I am. You know what I'm saying? I live tattooing and working out and just that's it. Like those are that's my life. I don't really have a hobby.
Do you get bored from that? Like, how's your tolerance for boredom?
Um, n no, if you know tattooing, you can't get bored, man. It's not like if I get bored, it's because I'm doing the shit to myself. Like I'm sitting around, like I'm putting like I'm doing walk-ins. You know what I mean? I'm doing stupid tattoos to just pay the bills. When I'm actually tattooing and I'm creating like masterpiece and artwork, like I hell no, can never be bored of it. I can never be bored of it.
Mm, 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 mm. Okay.
I'm
Okay.
so fucking confused, Marissa. I don't know. I don't know what to think.
Yeah, Henley, I think we got an SP here, man. I think we got
I
enough.
don't know about that. I don't know about that, man.
Pretty good on
I
SP.
agree with concrete.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think we got SP here, man. Uh, um, if you could have three wishes, what would you wish for and why?
Three wishes.
Let's signal that.
Hmm. Damn. That's crazy. I don't know, man. Wishes. I don't know, bro. That's tough. I really, if I'm really thinking about it, I really just don't, other than like maybe like a world peace, like I don't really see anything else. Like I really don't. I actually, I would wish for to know everything, bro.
Why?
I would want to have absolute wisdom, like to know full knowledge.
Why is that?
It's always been what like keeps me like curious. I'm always wanting to learn about everything. So actually, yeah, I would only need one wish, bro. Like I would only want to know everything.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess if you say like, I wish to know the lottery numbers, then you go. But what fields of knowledge do you want to know about? What are you curious about?
Literally everything.
Like
Like,
quantum
are you
physics?
familiar? Are you familiar with Thoth, the god of knowledge, the god of wisdom?
No.
His name is Thoth. Okay, basically, he's like the smartest person or smartest god or entity in the world, knows everything. Like, as pretty much as like if you had any type of question, he could answer it. So I would want to know, like I would want that type of knowledge
Okay, but
where
what
I
what
knew
would you do with that knowledge though?
I would just obtain it and know everything.
What so to flex on your friends or to actually apply it?
No, just to know everything. I would want to know, like I want to know where we come from, why we're here, what the universe is, like how many universes, is there multiple universes, like what created the universes. I want to know all that shit, like everything. So like even if like I like bro, it wouldn't even be for friends. Like why would I need to know all the knowledge for friends? I would like they wouldn't even be able to comprehend what I'd be saying. You know what I mean? They would like for them to even like they wouldn't have the mental capacity to actually even come up with like a question to ask me if I knew everything. Like if you could only come up with so many questions, you know what I mean? Like I would want to know that type of thing, like the whole knowledge to the entire universe. Like I want to know everything. Money would not be, you know what I mean? That shit's just paper. You know what I mean? Like if you had all the knowledge to the world, like it's just
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Could you explain could you explain like the being in the moment type thing and like is that something that comes easy to you? Is that something that comes hard to you? Like, are you more like past focused? Are you more in the moment, or are you thinking about the future? Which one would you say? And can you give us the reasons why you would say that?
Um,
So just think about past, present, or are you in the future?
And
Um,
obviously, past meaning you're using the past to influence the present.
yeah.
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, so the past, like I said, I grew up in some rough environments, and I've had some rough encounters in life where, like I said, I've accepted death in ways that, like, I real deal didn't think I was gonna survive that night. I thought I was gonna die for sure. And when I reached that point where, I'm thinking in my mind, like, you know, I hope that my mom and my sister and my brother and everyone will be all right and everything. And when I've gotten to that point, it's like you don't necessarily think about tomorrow or next week or fucking next month. Like, Lord forbid, a year in advance. Like, I don't plan my life
Mhm.
for a year in advance. I live like solely for what's going on right now. Meaning, as far as my mindset goes, is tomorrow. If I wake up tomorrow and take another breath, I'm gonna do what I need to do to try not to absolutely, like, do my best to not waste that day. You know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of and I struggle with it a lot because there's not really a lot of things that you can really say that is worth the time of life. For me, like, chasing money isn't worth the time of life. That's just how I feel about it. My opinion. Um, Chasing money is not worth it. Chasing women is not worth it to me. Like, all this shit is just not worth it to me. So yes, working out and bettering yourself mentally and physically, to me, those things are like the most important things that you could be doing with your life and your time. Um, and yeah, if you are fortunate enough to have a child, raising your offspring, like, and making sure that they understand those things, and just instilling that, like, certain type of values in them. But yeah, living in the moment for me, yeah, yeah. I don't think past tomorrow.
Hey, that's cool, man. I mean, some people, struggle with being in the moment. Like for me, I kind of struggle being in the moment because I'm always thinking 5 years ahead, 5, 10 years ahead. That's why
That
I'm
is
able to
very
beat.
interesting.
That is why I was able to beat you in every game, because I'm always thinking ahead. I'm like,
Yes,
next move going?
yes.
What's his next
But
move? Once I download it,
something, so,
so
so something for you to think about though.
it's
You're able to beat me in those games, but who decided the game?
mm,
The game itself is what?
I mean, who decided?
I dictated what game you played.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter. I want the
This is the thing. You
satisfaction
got This
of
is where
taking it from
you
you.
got. This is where you got to think about it. It does matter greatly,
No.
because even if you beat me in that game, guess what? I go and find another game that I dog you in, and then you have to come and learn, and I control what games now you learn. You
It
see,
doesn't matter because
it does. It matters, bro. It matters. You can't look at one thing. Don't look at one thing. That's where you. That's what I'm telling you. That's, you see, the fact that you struggle living in the moment, and I struggle living in the moment, or it's two different ways, right? So you struggle with living in the moment because you're always thinking about the future.
hmm
I struggle with living in the moment because I don't plan for the future.
No, 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 no. That means you're not. That's totally different. If you struggle with you're not struggling being in the moment. You're struggling with the future because you're.
But I'm struggling because I'm being in the moment. There's a difference. You
Look,
see what I'm saying?
there's two extremes to it, right? So if you're in the moment, you actually get the squeeze out of everything in life, right? If you're in the future, you are going to feel as though you left a little bit more on the table. You get what I'm saying?
I
Because you
understand.
take advantage of all of the moments.
I
Right?
understand. But what
When
I'm
people
saying is,
live like in a particular space where they're in the moment, they don't feel that way because they know that they every day they got up, they got everything out of that day.
of course.
Yeah,
But what I'm saying is, there's a downfall to both sides,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a downside to both. That's what I'm saying.
and there's a downfall to only beating me at the games that I decided that you play. You see what I'm saying? There's a downfall in everything, bro. There's always good and benefits in everything, and there's always bad and there's always downfalls in everything. So yes, I commend you for figuring the game out and beating me in the game. But by the time you figured the game out and beat me in the game, I'm on to the next one. You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't it
Because
doesn't matter. There's a downfall to everything, man. When you think like you're the greatest at something, you better be thinking about what you're the worst at because there's is a downfall to everything, bro. There's a downfall to everything. There's a benefit to everything, but there's also downfall to everything, bro. You can't always you can't just only be good at shit. You're gonna be bad at something.
you're gonna be bad at something, but I enjoy the look
Even the
on
shit
your
you're
face.
good at.
I enjoy the look on your face when you
I
got to go to
understand that.
another game.
I understand that. I understand
I
that. I
enjoy the look
do.
on your face when you got to go to another game. Because
I understand.
that look on your
That
face
does
is
it for
worth
you.
gold. It's
Yeah, yeah.
worth
That
gold.
does it for you. That's it for you. That's the
It's the
trophy.
gold. It's worth gold. You,
That's it.
me, all y'all. When y'all in there
That,
screaming, and I'm in there
that's the trophy for you, right?
because you get a certain way, and then you chopping away, chopping away, chopping away, and you still can't win, and you keep going back, and then you finally make the breakthrough. And then when you make the breakthrough, you know once I beat you one time, it's over.
It's over with. Yeah.
Over.
Yeah, no.
Mercy on
I
me.
like that. I like that. Yeah, I don't know how it feels to like plan so far ahead in the future. Unfortunately, I never even thought about it. Like, the fact that, like you said, there's people out there like you who, like feel like you're leaving things on the table because you're so focused on the future. And like,
Yeah.
like I said, man, that's why I say, man, like the human race should work together in every way possible, bro. It's absolutely incredible that, we have that variety of the same species. It's crazy. Like it's that's amazing. Like imagine if working together, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Someone to working together with like me, like there to remind you like that, like, hey, bro, live in the moment. And just me being in the presence of you would remind you to live in the moment and
But
will remind you in certain ways to not leave things on the table. And you being in the presence of me could absolutely help me to plan for the future.
mhm.
When some of those days, like I always think about this a lot. Um, the days that we worked out in the gym and we were around each other every day. Those were some of the best days of my life. Some of the best days of my life. Those I remember those days like they were yesterday. And even when I work out today, I'm like, sometimes I'm like, damn, bro, like, I wonder what Mercer would think about this shit. Like, but like those were good days, bro. Like I said, man,
It was a good
the
time.
company you keep is important.
Well, I think, a lot of times my biggest problem is I'm thinking so far ahead that I don't really appreciate the days until they're gone. And then when they're gone, that chapter's gone. You can never get it back. Um, and it's amazing. Like, you realize that, because at the end of the day, I'm always gonna be chasing like my vision or whatever I want, right? But then there's a lot of times where you're like, man, I wonder what Mike Taylor's doing, or I wonder what Chris them are doing. I wonder what this person's doing, right? But then you're like, shit, they probably too busy, and then you go back to what you're doing. And then before you know it, it's been 5, 10 years, and you talk to these people.
Yep.
So that's one of the big problems.
And also like I said, having the people that I have in my life and being close to and seeing them go through the things they go through, that allows me to like, that's why I'm like, yo, I'm gonna live my life in the, absolutely in the moment.
Yeah.
Like yesterday morning, I woke up, my first text message I read was my brother got sentenced to 24 months in prison.
Oh, shit.
So you could imagine when you get messages like that or you're dealing with certain stuff like that, you're gonna want to live in the moment and appreciate life right now for what you have right now. You know what I mean? Like, um, it's just it's very. I mean, it's just important, man. It's beyond crucial, to understand that, you know, you need to absolutely appreciate what's going on right now. It's okay to plan for the future, and it is absolutely fine to, you know, uh, manifest or put together a career or goals or, this and that and the third. But you absolutely need to appreciate everything that's going for you right now. In this present moment, everything that's going for you right now. Do you still have your mother? Do you still have your brother? Do you still have your sister? Do you still have your siblings? Do you still have your health? And are you thriving? Are those things going on? And if they are, wholeheartedly appreciate those things. Text your people, call them if you can, pull up and see them. Make sure that you are absolutely present and what's going on and aware of what's going on right now, and appreciate those things, man. Because I promise you, it's only a matter of time before you don't have them. And so, definitely appreciate those and be in the present somewhat to some extent.
That's the biggest problem. Is like, as you keep moving toward the goals that you want to get to, like time moves forward, and when time moves forward, people die, and that type of thing. And like when these people are gone, it's to me in my brain, I'd rather not just go to the funeral because in my head they're always living.
Yeah,
So, that's how I see it. I'd rather not even go to the funeral or anything like that, and just remember how it was. I don't want to see a person in a casket. That's like almost seeing people at their worst point.
I'm similar to you in that way. I absolutely agree with that. I also always said it, like, I don't know why funerals have to be fucking sad. Like, I don't get it. Like, you get around, y'all get around each other. You know what I'm saying? You cry, be depressed. You really break each other down. You know what I'm saying? And with that aspect, you never know how that could affect certain people. Some people can't handle that kind of shit. Some people absolutely will go into a like crazy depression because of it. Like, just because of the whole, like, seeing someone in a casket, the funeral, this, that, and the third, watching your loved one get buried and lowered into the ground and all this sad shit. It's all just sad shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, why make it sad? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that it should be any of that. You know what I mean? Funerals, they definitely need to, figure some different shit out. But, you know, um, I would say that, but yeah, I agree with you on that. Um,
Right.
I would like to remember who they were when they were living, not being lowered into a ground. You know what I mean?
So me
But
and Hilly are gonna discuss what we got 100%.
This
Um,
is this is this is what's going through our head. Okay, look, Mercer. All right, he's concrete, indubitably. All right, but the if he was doing all that shit about, like, I want to help the world, all that other fucking
yeah, yeah.
affiliate shit.
I
Why
think
would he do that if he's an SP? Do you get what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, I think because deep down, like that's what he wants to do. He wants. I think there's some aspect of that inside of them, but I think overall that he is more about living in the moment. I think that's abundantly clear that he wants to be in the moment. Like,
but SI users can also do that.
yeah, but SI users are using the past to handle today, right? But he's talking about embracing the moment and pretty much owning the moment,
He's
right?
been talking about his own experiences literally the whole entire time.
I don't know. I,
That's what
I feel pretty good with being in the moment, man. I feel pretty good. I'm not getting SI. I'm not getting like I'm getting more in the moment, man. Like definitely, he likes to be in the moment. He feels at best when he's in the moment. That's why he says he lives day to day. You'll never hear an SI user say they live in day to day, bro. You'll never hear an SI user really saying that unless it's like an
Really?
ENTP. No, unless it's like an ENTP. You're not gonna see them
Yeah,
saying
I was gonna say because I'm an NE dom and I can still agree with everything that this guy's saying. So,
if you live. Yeah, I mean you'll see an ENTP maybe say some shit like that because they kind of flirt the lines of SP ness. Um,
mm,
an SP, like more tactical intelligence, like season the day is more of their thing. Um,
yeah.
I do think he's an introvert. I do think he's an introvert. Um,
Definitely that.
yeah, I think he's an introvert. So that only gives us two SPs. He's
I
either
think he's got to be an ISTP because he's been using TIFE this whole entire time.
okay.
And he's progression. Like we had to agree on that.
Yeah, yeah. So I think so. What we got? We think you're an ISTP. Um,
Which is what I thought at the very beginning, which is what Christian is. Remember? I said he
so
looks like Christian.
So, ISTPs are the number one thing about them is they're centered on logic. Like logic is number one to them. Like things have to make sense. If things don't make sense, they're probably the first one to point out, like, yo, like that's not making sense.
Does that do you resonate with that?
For sure.
Yeah, like they have their own like framework, like that they use inside their head. That it's like, okay, he said this, but that ain't making sense to me. Like that's
Yeah.
really not
Okay.
making sense to me. Like, oh, that's wrong. Like, or like
And they have reasons for it. They say this doesn't make sense because if this and that is true, then therefore that should be true, and yeah, all that kind of stuff.
like this.
Which would go back to wanting to know everything.
I guess, but Mercer thinks that's NI child.
um, they're more about like you violated this inconsistency, so this is wrong, right? If you say something or like you do something or like you're trying to learn something. And that's why they're very good with their hands a lot of times, because of the TI and like SE, like being in the moment. So they can logically put those two together. Um, they generally want to help other people get better. Like they want to build up on they want to build up other people. Um, you'll see them like trying to take on more mentory roles with people, right? Try to teach other people skills. Um,
Okay.
that's where they feel like the happiest is like when they're trying to teach other people skills. Um, they really struggle, like they can kind of get annoyed with extroverted feeling, which is like knowing how other people feel or taking on other people's emotions, right? Because they feel like when they try to do that, people take advantage of them or like people kind of move it against them. So they can get pretty fed up sometimes of like, you know what? I'm gonna distance myself away from that. But that's what the growth actually lies for them, right? Is not giving up on people. Sitting there and trying to build those connections, people getting out there and trying to build them, trying to build them with the right people, right? A lot of times, when you say like, hey, I'm dealing with the wrong people, it's the environment. If you change your environment, you change your future, right? A lot of times. If you stay in the same environment, you can't really change much. But when it comes to FE, they really care about people a lot, but a lot of people don't really notice it as much. They care more inside than people notice, right? Um, and there's a little bit of insecurity with it. There's a little bit of insecurity with like their empathy and stuff. Like you kind of like bend their arm behind their back by saying like, if you were like honest with them and you're like, man, you're not a very caring person, or like you made me feel this type of way when you did this. Because they really take on other people's emotions. Um,
Then, contrary to what you said, they are typically not very aware of the consequences to their actions.
Yeah. So a lot of times they're not really aware of the consequences of their actions. What they are aware of is the logic behind the consequences of their actions, but not like everything, right? Like because being in the moment will lead you to a lot of consequences that you're just not ready for. But a lot of ISTPs will think logically, I know all the consequences of this here. Then they find themselves in trouble too, like making the wrong move, the wrong situation, uh, just because logically it doesn't map up sometimes. And when you're in the moment, sometimes you just end up like, oh, you did something you shouldn't have did, or like you weren't thinking ahead. So you find yourself in precarious situations. that maybe if you looked around, you could avoid it.
Yeah, I guess
They could be a little bit more
I
reckless.
guess you could say, 10% of the time.
Yeah,
Like, 90% of the time I'm pretty aware of all the consequences. There's that 10% though, like I said, that you just, you'll be in the moment, like you said, and you're moving quick and you just did some shit.
yeah. And now
Yeah.
it's like, oh shit, like fuck. Um,
Hey, hold on, let me put this dog in there. Come on,
Sounded
come on,
like a human.
come on.
does that? Oh, he ain't got the same dog. He probably got a new dog.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
there's a different dog here.
It
I,
ain't
I
Leo, is it?
was I was picking up interest. I will admit it to you, Mercer. Yes, I was picking up interest.
Yeah, yeah.
But like I don't know, man. I don't
He
know,
was a
man.
hard one. He was a hard one, man. But I think when he
I
started,
was stuck with ESFJ for like a good half hour
yeah,
with
I don't think he's about like. I think he's more pragmatic. He's more rebellion. He's more rebellious. He's a contrarian. He's not like about like following the conventional path. Like he's not about following the conventional path. Like the conventional path is like you know what the conventional path is, Henley.
Yeah, I
Path.
understand, but why was he saying so many affiliative things then?
I think just naturally, he wants the best for the world. I mean, but he's gonna still go about that in a pragmatic way.
You remember we just typed another ISTP, Dead Mouse. Do you think he gives a shit about wanting the best for the world? Like,
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the person. I mean, because if you talk to Joku, he'll say something like that. Talk to PC like they do, but they may not say it or anything like that. Um, but it all depends on the person. Um, but yeah, man.
okay.
The big thing that ISTP can work on is what do they actually value? Like what do they value? Like sitting down and actually making a list of like what's important to them.
Other than time.
And it can't be
Well,
nothing
I
logical.
think that might be why you wasted so much time was because you can like be logical about things as much as you want and like, but if you're not doing it for things that you actually care about,
Mhm.
who gives a shit at the end, you know?
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So you got to get in touch with
You see,
what are
he's
things
connecting with
important.
my TI language. I'm using the TI language on him and he's getting that's funny.
Yeah.
Because I'm the same way as you.
Yeah, he's
Nice.
TIFE, I'm TE. So it's a little bit.
Okay.
We kind of talk two different languages. He talks frameworks, he talks internal frameworks. So like when he talks, it kind of makes a little bit more sense. But what ultimately you want to do as an ICP is you want to get in tune with what you value and understand that like that's just as important as being logical, right? That you can do both. You can be logical and care about what you value as well, like what's important to you at a core, and you
You
can't
should you
can't
should
be.
uh you should send me this like
Yeah, I'm
information.
gonna put online. And
No, I mean like the information though,
oh yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you know what I'm saying? What I like in an email that I can like, you know what I'm saying, go through and read, okay, you said
yeah.
ISTP,
Yeah.
and then you should be like, yo, this is your personality type, like
Mhm.
these are your strengths, these are your weaknesses and things you can work on and whatever,
The big
that
one
would
is sitting down and making sure that you can figure out what you value, and you can't use friends or family and friends, family, in your job. You can't use that. Like those can't be used. Like what do you value, right? And setting that up and working with that and being okay with that. That's gonna take you a while because that function for you is pretty unconscious, and that's the reason why you say like, I kind of got a big heart or whatever because your FI is so unconscious. Like you like understand like a lot of times you just don't even care about what you value. You think about like what's logical or like what helps other people
yeah.
more than like how do I value this? What do I care about this? Like, how do I like? Is this something I stand for? What are my beliefs? Not what's logical, but what are my beliefs? Um,
Like I said,
Um,
because that's important to me. It's not, like Basically just like I said, not bending my beliefs
and,
is
and,
important, man.
and then like kind of navigating and realizing that you're more than a tattoo artist. You're more than a tattoo artist, man. You're more than a tattoo artist. And just understanding that, and that like, hey, realizing that you can plan for the future too, right? Because a little plan is better than no planning, and it's gonna allow you to get the goals that you want, right? And as you get older, you're I would say when you were like 20, your future planning wasn't that great, but as you've gotten older, it gets better and better. So just being able to implement that with um what where you see yourself, you know. So you're not living as risky.
Yeah,
You got a son, you got all that, You can't afford to live in the moment anymore. That's a game for people without like families and shit,
yeah,
Like now it's got to be okay. I got to make sure that my son has an opportunity to do something I can never do. And
right.
if you living in the moment, how are you gonna do that? You're not setting up the bricks to be there.
Yeah,
And it's just like the future planning. It's just it doesn't have to be like, oh my god, I gotta sit down and future plan, but it's small steps, right?
yeah,
Steps that will help you be a lot better. And that's one of the things that ICPs are good at is they're kind of good at mixing, like being in the moment and then also kind of planning a little bit. Not like they're gonna plan 5, 10 years, but maybe they plan 3 months. You know,
yeah. I've noticed I can do something like that. I've noticed that I can make some plans for that time, but like I started trying to look at it in like year increments, to be honest. Like
that's
kind
gonna
of
be
helped
better.
me out. Yeah, yeah. Because it used to be just like a month. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, okay, this is what I need for the month. You know what I mean? Because that's when the fucking bills hit and this and that and whatever. So I'd be like, how much can I make for this month? And then I started looking at it not too long ago. I was like, you know what? I need to start looking at it. I need to make, 6 figures for the year.
Yeah,
Like I need to make that. You know what I'm saying? I need to make at least 100,000 for the year. You know what I mean? So that kind of helped my mindset a lot.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
all
And
right.
that's gonna take you to the next level because then that's gonna make everything open on the board for you. Um, and you are capable of like what they call strategic planning, right? That's gonna have you where you in your own tattoo shop. That's gonna have because the simple truth about the world is everybody's got to eat shit. Everybody's got to eat shit somewhere, right? That's
Hmm.
the name of the game. And no one's above eating shit. Like even if you look at LeBron James, everybody looks at LeBron James. Guess what? The owner makes 10 times what he's making. That's just the system. But what you can do is try to set yourself up like LeBron has done. So maybe he buys a basketball team when he retires. So when
Right.
you do the strategic planning, you can do that. Put yourself
Okay.
in the best position possible.
Now, if I can go full on savage on ISTPs and give them advice, um, your FE inferior is not that strong, even though you think it is. Um, be nice to people and be warm, or else no one's gonna like you. Yeah,
No, that is real. That is real, bro.
they
I,
piss
I
me off a
I
lot.
tend to push a lot of people away just because of like not being nice.
Yeah, because they I think what it is because they have
It's
TI
kind
here.
of hot and cold. It's kind of like hot and cold. Like they could be like very caring, and then they could not be very caring.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because they want to. It is important to them. I'll give them credit for that. But clearly, it's not important. Like, you know what I mean? And I think they care too much about being right about things. And so when they see something that's not right, they just have to point it out. And it's like, but they have to do it in this way that's not understand receptive to the other person's perspective, any trickster, and not taking into consideration the other person's feelings because they're so focused on what the truth is. And then the other person's like, well, how do I benefit from hearing this?
Mhm.
Yeah. No, I go full savage mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how you were like, full savage mode. I go full savage mode, bro. Like you hear me, like you could even hear it, like if you was to rewind the video and listen, like I'm like, like I call people what it is. I'd be like, yo, you're a fat fucking slob. Like, you know what I mean? You're fucking a zombie. Like you need to, get this shit together. Like
Yeah.
like you know what I'm saying? And obviously I shouldn't talk like that to people, but like I don't know. I don't. It's just I've grown accustomed to just like not sugarcoating shit. Like I'm just like fuck, bro. Like I don't know how else to tell you. Like
Right.
get up and do it. Like
But people are not going to respond to that. Like
Not,
if someone said to you that, you'd be like, "Fuck off,
Fuck
dick."
you.
You know,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
wouldn't want to listen.
yeah.
so how you
You
We
wouldn't
think
care about
other
what they
people are going to respond?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you gotta kind of.
Tread lightly.
Well, it's not that. It's
because
not.
even if you're right, you want them to listen to you, otherwise you're worse for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
need to understand that I need to approach things differently, like at least wording, like,
Hmm.
and just the whole like you said, just be nicer with the shit, like,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I don't take into consideration of like how they feel or anything, like you said, or like what their type is or how are they, you know what I mean? I don't take into none of that shit. I just call it for what it is. I call it for what I see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I
Not
mean,
right.
yeah, that's a big problem there, because that alienates people. And once the weird thing about people is once they come up with a preconceived notion of you, then they kind of never walk it back.
Mm.
So you got to be careful with doing that. And a lot of people can't handle the truth. That's a big thing that people with logic need to realize. Like, not everybody wants to hear the truth, and not everybody can handle the truth. Like, you may like it in that perspective, but it don't work for everybody like that. Um,
Now I will say, if someone cannot handle the truth and that's their problem, just yeah, then just forget about them.
well, what if
Like,
it's a significant other? You know,
well,
and most women
I
why would
can't.
you
shouldn't.
marry someone
There you
who doesn't
there you
even
go. I
accept?
shouldn't be with them.
Yeah,
Hey, no, no,
if
no.
they
I
can't even
mean, but
accept
most
who you
women are
are.
like that. You cannot like. You
Oh well, bye bye, bye bye. See you later. It's like,
Do
No,
you
I'm
be in a
with that
relationship
now.
or not a
Like I
relationship?
like even in the gym, my lady's already told me multiple times, like, hey, well, you motivate things differently, and you get motivation differently, but you don't need to talk to me like that. I don't like to be talked to like that. I like to be handled gently and da da da. And I'm like,
yeah,
Yeah.
my point is you should tell the truth. Absolutely, 100%. That is my principle. But you should say it in a way where the other person will actually listen to you, because then that's how they benefit from it. Nobody's going to
exactly,
listen to an old curmudgeon and be like, shit at this. No one cares.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and
Um,
that causes me a lot of relationships of like business wise,
Hmm.
'cause like back to what you were saying too, like once people perceive something they can't like walk it back, it's like
Yeah.
I deal with that a lot, and it's weird because like when people meet me, they're generally just like, I love this person, he's a great person, like I don't know, like who is this person, and they love me, and then like 3 4 months in, they're like, I don't like this person. Like they it's like they don't want to be around me, and I'm like, damn, why did the love turn to hate? But I see, like, you point these things out. That's how I am, bro. I kind of move through life just with the truth on my sleeve all the time, like, and
okay.
it kind of intimidates a lot of people, and they just be like, I don't want to deal with it.
Well,
Well,
yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, not everybody want to hear it, Like, people want to live in their own world. Like, they don't want to hear the truth, dude. They just and if you're gonna do it, I mean, a lot of ISTPs end up just minding their own business.
That's what I'm
Because like
saying.
they struggle with like placing it in the right place. So they'll just end up just literally just minding their own business, end up with like 2 to 3 friends, 3 to 5
Hmm.
probably max. Before that, it's too exhausting for them to manage all those people's feelings and like, all that shit. Um,
That's me right now, bro.
it's exhausting for them. So
I don't even hang out like. I have my lady and she begs me for more time. You know what I mean? Like I don't give anyone time, girl. Like I said, bro, I feel like I've gave so much to people, so much time to people, and not only did nothing come from it, I feel like, but because I'm not, well, I don't like saying nothing comes from it because I've learned a lot of shit from the, you know what I'm saying, that I benefit from, but like, um, I just feel like I gave a lot of people a lot of time, and sometimes actually they've turned their backs on me and done some messed up shit to me. So I'm like, I'm good, you know.
yeah,
But a lot of people don't, like you said, they don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to. I'm cool. All right, cool. I'm gonna stay over here. Like,
yeah, yeah. Well, also the environment I keep telling you about, man. The environment, bro. Like, You want to change your life, you change the environment. Like that's the quickest way. Like for instance, there's a story about people from I think it was the Vietnam War. The opiates was really high, right? And all the soldiers were highly on opiates. So when the soldiers were coming back, they were like, "Holy shit! Like, what are we gonna do with all these soldiers that are addicted to opiates and shit like that?" When they came back to the U.S., they couldn't get the supply, different environment, you know. So now they're no longer going to be different environment, different thinking, different state of mind, different access to shit, changes a lot of people. So a lot of times you feel stuck in life, maybe it's time to change the environment. Or you feel like you're
Yeah,
getting your worth out of something, it's time to change the environment.
absolutely. Think I'm gonna move to Texas.
He said, I think I'm gonna move to Texas. Yeah, yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
why Texas?
I had an opportunity to work out there at a shop with one of the best black and gray artists in the world. And the houses are cheap out there. I just I don't know. The weather's not that bad. Just
Yeah,
been thinking about Texas a lot.
yeah, yeah.
It's not that far from Florida, so
Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, change the environment, you change your life, man. A lot of times, like let's say like somebody's a drug addict or something, or like they're going out and partying too much. I guarantee if you move farther away, you won't be partying as much. Or you
yeah.
live in a totally different city or something, you'll see like all those little bad habits start to, slide off.
Of course it's different measures. You know. People have to do different things. So you can't just go out and party.
Yeah, yeah. Any got anything you want to say before we head out?
What advice would you have for SI critic?
Oh, hmm. I mean, I'm really nothing, man. I think he's doing pretty good. I mean, the overall, I would check on, strategic planning, thinking a little bit more ahead. Also noticing that, like, you say stuff to people, like people take it a certain type of way, so be aware of that. And then also try to list things that you value outside of friends and family. Can't use friends and family, and trying to work with those things. It can be pretty hard to figure that shit out. It might take you.
Can't use friends, family, or work.
Can't use friends, family, or work. You can't use none of them. So you got to find out what the fuck do you actually value. Yeah, you don't know.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, man,
ah,
I'm gonna send you some stuff, man. But I'm gonna get out here and
That's
get some sleep,
interesting.
man. It was a pleasure to have you on, man. All right,
yeah, man. Thank you, bro.
all right, brother.
All right, y'all.